What's going on, everybody? This is Tyrell Jackson from the Nosebleeds. How's everybody doing today? So first, I want to give a shout out to everybody who watched the video yesterday about the Cleveland Browns not getting things done right, and also the Joy Taylor video as well. I'm gonna have more on the Joy Taylor Fox Sports lawsuit as more things are coming out and as some of my opinions are changing, but nonetheless, I'm gonna have more things to come out for that. But again, I just appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate the new subscribers. I appreciate you guys liking, and let's just keep this ball rolling. I'm gonna start putting in the links to the Twitter, the official Facebook group page, and the Instagram should be coming soon as well. We're also on Blue Sky. I know Blue Sky is not that popular amongst people, but it's a social media app that's on the rise. So we're gonna link the Blue Sky page as well in the description, so go follow those as well. So today, very simple, might be a quick video. We're going to talk about the NFL coaching carousel so far, and this is just essentially breaking down who's fired, some potential candidates, some of the hotter candidates, and just my thoughts on how I think things are going to go. And when this is all said and done, we're going to do another video reviewing all the hires and my opinions on that. But that'll come probably around next month. Usually all these general managers and head coaches and offense coordinators and things of those nature, they kind of pan each other out around Super Bowl, a little bit after the Super Bowl. Usually all these teams get this together because the combine is shortly after the Super Bowl, and then you got pro days, and you got the NFL draft. So the NFL draft is like 2.5 months away from after the Super Bowl. So usually these teams like to wrap it up around the Super Bowl time so they can get their offseason plans together. So let's start with the Chicago Bears. Obviously, they have fired Matt Eberflus after Thanksgiving. We all know how that went down. Some of the candidates I'm hearing is Anthony Weaver, the Miami defensive coordinator. Mike Vrabel is going to come up a lot. He is arguably the hottest candidate for every single team that has a head coaching vacancy this year. They're also looking at Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, and also looking at Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator and former Arizona Cardinals head coach, for the vacancy. They have also had requested to interview Mike McCarthy, which I believe his contract expires as of this recording tomorrow, Friday, January 10th. I believe his contract expires, so when that happens, he'll be free to interview for any of these positions. So that's what I'm hearing with the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson's name has been thrown out there as well. I think the defense coordinator for the Lions, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's a hot candidate. And just real quick about all of these candidates that are coming out as far as head coaches. I think this is one of the best head coaching vacancy class in quite some time, with Vrabel and Ben Johnson and Brian Leftwich and Kellen Moore and Mike Vrabel, who's the hottest thing going, Cliff Kingsbury, who might take a coaching job, Joe Brady, who has been thrown out there here or there. So very interesting how things are going to shape out to be. I think this is one of the better head coaching potential classes that we've seen in quite some time. And there's another reason why I wanted the Browns to kind of throw their hat in there, because I think it's time for us to move on from Kevin Stefanski. Like I say, I have not seen a head coach receive multiple offensive coordinators and not lose his job himself. So, but it is what it is. Can't change that. But nonetheless, it's going to be interesting as well. Doug Peterson was fired by also Chicago Eberflus. I think I did mention the fact that he did get let go in the middle of the season after Thanksgiving. Doug Peterson got let go after, I think, 3 years he spent there. They won a playoff game underneath him. They had that 27-point comeback. They had that close game against Kansas City in the divisional round, and ever since then they bottomed out. At one point they were It was looking like a great hire between a playoff win, a young team. They had the control of the division back in 2023, and that bottomed out, and they lost that to the Houston Texans. And this year, it was just all disastrous. Trevor Lawrence has regressed. The entire team has regressed thanks to injuries, age, and just poor coaching. So Shad Khan has let go of Doug Peterson, which Trent Baalke is still there, which I'm starting to think Trent Baalke is the Paul DePodesta of the Jacksonville Jaguars, because, again, kind of similar how I say about Kevin Stefanski, and how Stefanski has hired and fired 2 offensive coordinators, and how Paul DePodesta has survived 3 general managers, 3 head coaches. Baalke is now going to be a part of hiring his 3rd head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He came in with Urban Meyer. The Urban Meyer thing failed. Nothing against Baalke on that. It was Urban Meyer, and then Urban had more say than Baalke anyway. But survived the Peterson thing. It is looking like he's going to survive that, and it's going to be an integral part in who they bring in as the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, Mike Vrabel's name is getting put out there. Kellen Moore, Ben Johnson, Todd Monken, who's a longtime NFL assistant and an NFL offensive coordinator, and Robert Saleh is another hot candidate. A lot of people, and myself included, with everything that is going on with the New York Jets, did not get a fair share, did not get a fair chance to really shine as a head coach. They had drafted poorly, or they drafted. It was a couple of years they drafted poorly. It was a couple of years they drafted decently, but they put all their eggs into Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has sat back and blamed everybody, whether it was Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, the wide receivers that he had, the offensive line that he had. No, it's just all the way around effort of ineptitude with the New York Jets. And if it wasn't for the Browns, they'll be easily the worst ran organization in the last 10 years, maybe even the last 15 years. I believe they have the longest playoff drought in the entire league. The last time they've been to the playoffs was back in 2010, where they had made it to the AFC Championship game after beating the New England Patriots and Indianapolis Colts, which that's a generational run in of itself. Like, I know we kind of make fun of Mark Sanchez, and, we say got all these narratives about Mark Sanchez. This is just a side tangent about the butt fumble and how, their defenses carried him. He had a strong supporting cast, which is true. But think about this. Sanchez in one playoff defeated Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in the same playoffs. That's not something to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about the first battle Hall of Famer. Tom Brady's going to be a first battle Hall of Famer. And he beat them in one playoff. That's nothing to scratch at. There's nothing to, sit back and, like, scoff at and laugh at. And it's just interesting that he has that on his resume as well. And matter of fact, I think they played the Colts the year before in the AFC Championship game, and that was a pretty solid game as well. So, and pretty came close to beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he could have potentially defeated Peyton, Tom, and Ben Roethlisberger in one playoffs. But nonetheless, yeah, that's just a side tangent, and they haven't been relevant since then. Neither has Chicago. I think that was the second to last time Chicago made the playoffs. And they made the playoffs back in, I want to say it was 2019. They made the playoffs, but, like, Chicago hasn't been relevant in that same exact year. So, funny enough that the New York Jets kind of find themselves in that situation as well. I know we were talking about Jacksonville, but talking about Robert Saleh and how he got an unfair share. It's the same. It's played out very similar how it has played out with Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is proving himself in Tampa, and I think Saleh getting another chance. Hopefully it's not with Jacksonville, because the Khan family, more specifically Tony Khan, blows. Tony Khan is running the show. We are also gonna have wrestling content on this channel as well, and I have a lot of opinions on Tony Khan and of itself. So there is that. Las Vegas, Antonio Pierce, one and done season. Another guy that didn't get a fair chance. No quarterback, not a good team. This team is in shambles after, you can date this back to John Gruden, but you can also date this back to them hiring Josh McDaniels and giving him a lot of control in the organization. And really, it's just, I mean, they're in the same boat. They should have hired Rich Bisciotti when he was the interim head coach. They didn't do that. They went with Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels stripped the roster of what they were building, and along with was Mayock with him? I'm trying to think. Was Mayock with him, or was Mayock with Gruden? I want to say Mayock was with Gruden per se, more than Josh McDaniels. But the Raiders are moving on from Antonio Pierce, and as of today, they're also moving on from Tom Telesco, who was a longtime Chargers general manager. They brought him in last year along with Antonio Pierce. So both general manager and head coach are both one and done. Things I'm hearing from the Las Vegas side as far as a head coach is concerned. Again, Pep Hamilton, I'm hearing he's a former offensive coordinator in the NFL, longtime assistant. Brian Leftwich. I'm hearing rumblings of Darren Rizzi, who is the interim head coach of the New Orleans Saints, being thrown out there. Robert Saleh, Steve Spagnuolo has been thrown out there with multiple organizations as well. And I'm also hearing inklings about a potential Ben Johnson, Kellen Moore. Mike Vrabel is the hot. Mike Vrabel's getting interviewed from every single vacancy, so we're just going to leave that there. We're going to get a little deep on the next team nonetheless with that. So you got all those guys interviewing for the Raiders position. As far as for the vacancy for general manager, I'm hearing Louis Riddick, Jim Nagy, who is a senior executive of the Reese Senior Bowl. I'm hearing Catherine Hickman, who is the assistant general manager of the Cleveland Browns, and if she's hired by Tennessee by the Raiders, she will become the second female general manager in league history. So that could be a little bit of history there. And Las Vegas, the Raiders organization historically is well known at breaking ground in history, whether it's with racial rights or female equality rights. Remember, this is the same organization that hired the first minority female high executive, first NFL team in history to hire a black head coach in this league. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Raiders continue that path as they have done so for many, many years to come. Brian Leftwich is thrown out there as well. I know I got some Raiders fans. Shout out to Raider Ragu. Shout out to my boy Ant. You know, I love you guys. So shout out to them. Those are my two Raider fans, friends. They're great at this. Also, go follow and subscribe to They Follow from Burners. Got to check them out. Amazing content, whether you're a Raiders fan or not. I'm going to give them a shout out as well. They are amazing people, and they know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. And I can't wait to hear what they have to say about their head coaching and general manager carousel they'll like to see as well. So let's talk about New England. Gerard Mayo fired 1 year. On his way out, gave the double birds to the New England Patriots, to Robert Kraft. I'm going to win a game. We're going to win. We're going to go 4 and what did you go? 4-13. We're going to go 4-13. And I am going to cost you the first overall pick. There is no Shedeur Sanders. There is no Travis Hunter for you, because you will be picking from the 4th pick, because we're going to win the football game. And he got fired. And there's a lot of talk behind Gerard Mayo's firing, and some people are saying he shouldn't have been hired in the first place. Bill Belichick kind of chose him as the successor, things of that, whatever it may be. They fired Gerard Mayo for one reason. You can say, oh, he won the game, that's why they fired him. Oh, he wasn't ready, that's why they fired him. The reports of him playing cards with players after a loss to a team when they blew a 14-point lead or something like that, like, whatever. This is all about getting Mike Vrabel. Vrabel's a Patriot. He played for the Patriots. I think he did a little bit of coaching for the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. He's a Patriot through and through. Robert Kraft loves him. Robert Kraft wants him there. Robert Kraft wants him running the ship. And Vrabel is a no-nonsense head coach. He's an old-school head coach, to the extent where some of these softy fans think he's too tough. To me, I think he's an excellent embodiment of what a head coach should be. Holding players accountable, being tough on them, knowing the rules, knowing how to manage, knowing how to let your staff run things, and keeping an iron fist on what the organization needs to do, because you are the guy in the chair, you are the leader, but not neglecting what your staff that you hire is saying, not neglecting what the players needs, not neglecting and not understanding and recognizing what the players need to be better and how to coach these players. I think Vrabel is a player coach with it's kind of weird because usually when with that description, you wouldn't say he's a player's coach. But he kind of is too. But he's one of those players coaches that, like, he has a good time with his team. He's there to stick up for his team. He's there to stick up for his players. But at the end of the day, he's going to hold them accountable for their actions, and he's not going to take no nonsense of that. This could blow up in New England's face, however. And as somebody that I have no ill will towards the New England Patriots, but it kind of be funny if this blow up in their face. I think they made this move to go get Jerome Mayo. Plain and simple. I mean, I'm sorry. They made this move to go get Mike Vrabel. Plain and simple. He's a Patriot. He played here. He's lived here. He knows how this organization is ran. He's not a softie. He's not a punk. He's a younger Belichick. His values and his cores of coaching is that of a younger Belichick. And I think that's what Kraft wants. To the point where I'm not going to talk about, Mike Kafka being there to interview, Leftwich, I'm hearing, Robert Saleh. They're gunning for Mike Vrabel. So we'll see how that pans out, how that works out. Dennis Allen, I knew that was a bad hire right off rip. He got fired mid-season. Again, Mike Kafka, Darren Rizzi, who was the interim head coach for them, he's being interviewed for the position. And we'll see how that goes. Again, this is just talking about what's going on in the carousel. No predictions yet. The Jets, again, we kind of went in length with the Jets, with Robert Saleh being fired, Joe Douglas being fired, how Brick Johnson, a 17-year-old, is running that organization. If the Browns wasn't worse, again, they would be the worst ran organization. At least they didn't squander a bunch of Hall of Famers. They got a bunch of mid-tier players and produced chicken salad crap out of it. Louis Riddick, Jim Nagy, again, names I'm here for the general manager side. Basically the same names. The same names are going to keep cycling over and over and over again, because it's pretty much, with these carousels, it's usually the same names, maybe here and there. Again, Spagnuolo is on everybody's list as head coach. He's on Chicago's list, Jacksonville's, Las Vegas, New England's, New Orleans, the Jets, and Tennessee. Or not Tennessee. Tennessee only fired the general manager, but he's on every single vacancy for head coach. Spagnuolo is, Vrabel is, Ben Johnson is. I can't get the defense coordinator's name for the Lions in my head to say and it's gonna bug me when I get off this video. But these are guys that are going to circle. They're going to circle. Even Kellen Moore is circling around every single team. Todd Monken is on multiple teams' lists. Pep Hamilton, Brian Leftwich, which I think should get a fair crack. He's earned it. I know he has been out for like a year or so, but he's actually earned it as well. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how everything goes with this. And then Tennessee ran Carthon. They ran him out. They said get out of here after a 9-25 record as a general manager of the Tennessee Titans. They're going to bring in somebody else. Same names, including Catherine Hickman. So pretty much the same names. I don't know which way this is going to go. Like I said, I think New England, they're gunning for Mike Vrabel. And they're going to try to do everything that they can to outbid any team to get Vrabel to become a new head coach of the New England Patriots. And that's interesting because I don't think they have a full concrete plan if Vrabel goes somewhere else. I think Vrabel, and the way that the Raiders should be again, will fit the Raiders. He will restore what it means to be a Raider if Vrabel gets to become the Raider. And it's a possibility. It's a possibility because Tom Brady's there. And Tom Brady and Vrabel, they loved each other as teammates. And I think Brady can convince Vrabel, hey, don't go over there. I love it over there, but you know how Kraft is. Come over here. We're going to treat you right. We're going to do everything right. It's not going to be Antonio Pierce. We're actually going to get you a quarterback. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see how everything goes. Like I said, we're going to talk about all the hirings and the backgrounds behind each hiring and how they got to their job when they get there. And that'll be around Super Bowl time as well. So more to come from all of this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for clicking on the video. Hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. Deuces.